everyone, and welcome to TWF Friday night. Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Monday Night Raw, or Alone Day Night Raw. I am Gorilla Monsoon, here with Trini Kwan and with Corey Graves. And today on Monday Night Raw, or Alone Day Night Raw, we want to wish everyone a happy work day in the Wanted Reichs and also in the Settled Lands, since it's a holiday that both lands share. And today we're gonna have, and today Gorilla Monsoon says we're gonna have the TWF. We're gonna have the World Women. We're gonna have the women. The World Women's Heavyweight Winnings, or the Women's World Heavyweight Winnings. That's hard to say. Well, we do know Trini Kwan says that Ronda. We do know that Shayna Baszler, the former two-time WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter and two-time WWE Women's Team Fighter, thinks that she's going to become a three-time Women's World Heavyweight Fighter. She's going to call a three-time World Women's Heavyweight Fighter. And here she is. Well, she doesn't think it, she believes it. She doesn't believe it, she thinks it, and she's also going to do it, Corey Graves says. By the end of this show, you're going to have a new women's world heavyweight fighter, or however you say it, or the world women's heavyweight fighter. Well, Shayna Baszler goes, a lot of folks always wondered if I'd go back to the way I once was. And I know Faith has that leg that's been over sticky oozed back on. And she might have overcome that handicap or that bind. But I gotta tell you, one bind or handicap she isn't gonna overcome, and that's gonna be me. Cause I don't care if you over sticky ooze that leg back in or not. You still ain't gonna beat me, because I have a fighting background, I got a wrestling background, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna end up beating you. Like you did for Liz Morgan, huh? That's right, Faith said. You said the same shit you said about Liz Morgan for months. For a whole month, that you were gonna beat her, that you were gonna break her, that you were gonna become the WWE the WWE SmackDown Women's Heavyweight Fighter. That didn't work. So you think that you're going to beat me. If you couldn't beat Liz Morgan in WWE, there's no way you're going to beat me here in the TWF. Is that so? Well, I could tell you, I didn't need no Gil Kim coming on here making this match. It was already made. Well, this is for the TWF. And I will beat you, Faith. And this is for the TWF Women's World Heavyweight Winnings. First, she is Shayna Baszler. And she is the TWF. She is the World Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Faith. Well, first off, Gorilla Monsoon said, what does Faith have to do to beat Shayna Baszler, and what does Shayna Baszler have to do to beat Faith? Well, it's like this, Trini Kwan said, one's got to keep away from the strikes that Shayna Baszler can do. All the yielding holds she can do, Trini Kwan says. She has that fighting background, she has that wrestling background, and when you put two of those things together, it can make someone utmost harmful. Oh! And down goes Faith already, Gorilla Monsoon says. Well, what did I tell you? It's one handicapper bind. She's not going to get past, Gorilla Monsoon says. She may have gotten past having her leg coming out, but she ain't going to get past Shayna Baszler, Corey Graves says. And Shayna Baszler thinks that she's got everything under run and lead here. Just like she believed that she always had everything under run and lead, Gorilla Monsoon says. Well, I could tell you one thing. She was a former two-time WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter, held it a long time, both runs. She's a former two-time WWE Women's Team fighter. And now she's gonna beat her, Corey Graves says. Without you were gonna say, Trini Kwan says, oh. And now Faith right now is gonna beat Shayna Baszler down with the neck breaker or the stunner or whatever you want to call it. It has many names to itself, and it was done by many wrestlers over the years. And now Faith thinks she's got enough to beat Shayna Baszler here today on Monday Night Raw, or a Lone Day Night Raw, Girl Monsoon says. We'll see, Trini Kwan said, if it happens or not. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. And still the TWF, and still the world, and still the Women's World Heavyweight Fighter, Faith. And Faith has now beat Shayna Baszler. So now Shayna Baszler can have 2 losses, Girl Monsoon says. One to Liz Morgan and another to Faith. Well, Trini Kwan said at the end of the day, Trini Kwan said Shayna Baszler may have gone in thinking that she could beat Faith, believing that having the fighting background, having the wrestling background would make her, greater. Wow, Corey Graves says, knowing Shayna Baszler, she doesn't do very well with losing. And if I was Faith, I would watch my back because Shayna Baszler might get even one of these days, Corey Graves says. Well, Girl Monsoon says, I do know one thing. Renee Young now is going to be talking with Shayna Baszler here on Monday Night Raw, or Lone Night Raw. That's right, I'm going to be talking with Shayna Baszler here on Monday Night Raw, or Lone Night Raw, Girl Monsoon. First off, Renee Young, I know what you want to ask me. How did it feel to lose to Faith? How did it feel to lose to a bloodsucker huntress? Well, it didn't feel good. Somehow, some way, Liz Morgan beats me in WWE. Somehow, some way, Faith beats me here. But I'm going to tell you a little unhidden. You see, I was a former fighter, now wrestler. And if I put my mind to it, I can do. Everyone seems to also forget that at one time I was a former 2-time WWE NXT Women's Heavyweight Fighter. I was a former 2-time WWE Women's Team Fighter. And I still have it in me. Faith may have overcame the bind or the handicap today, but she's not going to overcome it today. And sooner or later, you're going to be looking at the 3-time World Women's Heavyweight Fighter, or whatever they call it. Well, Shayna Baszler, I know you are angry and irked over Faith beating you here today on Monday Night Raw, or Lone Night Raw. Irked? No. Angry? Yes. Because I truly believed that I could beat Faith. I truly believed that I could win. But I'm not done yet. I'm going to get Faith. And sooner or later, I'm going to be the World Women's Heavyweight Fighter. Well, apparently Shayna Baszler believes that she's going to beat Faith, and guess it's a bind or a hang-up that's still going on. Back to you, Gorilla Monsoon. Well, thank you, Renee Young, for talking with Shayna Baszler here today on Monday Night Raw, or Lone Night Raw. And it looks like it is all the time we got here for Monday Night Raw, or Lone Night Raw. I am Gorilla Monsoon for Trini Kwan and Corey Graves. We hope you like Monday Night Raw, or Lone Night Raw, and we'll see you tomorrow for NXT 2.0.